Today, the theme is going to be how to lose weight. And you may think that dieting and drinking lots of water and having a health fitness routine is the best way to lose weight. Yet I now defer on that. I think that a healthy diet and a fitness routine are essential, but they're more an outcome of you living in your truth and clearing out the blocks that I'm about to talk about that are the number one reason why a woman cannot lose weight. Because you know all those ladies who are a little bit on the heavier side and they eat salads for lunch and they go to the gym and they walk and they do all these things, and yet they still cannot lose weight. Yes, there's a truth about having a set point. Most of us have heard we have a set point where maybe you go and you binge eat one night and then a week later you'll still be back to the same weight. It's really hard to actually change your set point. There's books out there that talk about that. This video is not about this. This video is about how to actually lose weight. So the number one reason why women have a hard time losing weight is because of the emotional weight that we are holding onto. So think about it that there's only so much space we have in this capsule. And so the capsule where this excess weight is between our skeleton and the outer layer of our skin. Now, if you feel that we have more of ourselves that we need to hold onto, that we need to expand this space. So some of the things we might need to keep in this space are shame, for instance. This is the feeling of unworthiness. It's like anything that we're congesting, it's that sort of energy that we're not releasing and we're not being transparent about because these are parts of ourselves we don't appreciate or don't like. So there's the emotional weight that we hold onto within ourselves. And this sort of is like a friction, electrical magnetic field of just tension. And what this actually does is it separates the person across from you from you. So it doesn't create a direct pathway for connection, basically. So this is a safety mechanism for a lot of ladies. Why? Why is it effective? Is because if a woman feels that she's not really worthy of love, it could be self-worth, or she needs to do something to prove her worth, that she feels kind of like safer, like, okay, good. Well, then if you're keeping your distance from me, then I don't need to prove anything to you, right? As much as these women might be thinking they want to be in love, or some of them might even be married, still that wall hasn't been broken down. And so there's still that level of disconnection of being honestly and truthful with your partner, even at night. This is very connected to your fifth chakra as well, your throat, and you're communicating what's really going on. So some of the solutions are, for this one in specific, is to, first of all, gain your confidence and seniority, and then start to speak your truth. So your truth may feel sort of where you're being treated unfairly, or maybe you're getting more of the burden and responsibilities. So the word responsibility is underlined 3 times. You're holding the weight of other people's responsibility as well as your own. So it could be in work that even though you're getting paid the same amount of all the other workers, somehow all the excess work falls on your plate. Why is that? It's because somehow you're a vibrational match for responsibility. And you also might have the belief, if this is you, that just doing it myself is actually often easier than me explaining how to do it to somebody else or training somebody else. And along with that comes, it won't get done unless I do it. So sort of like those are sort of isolating beliefs. And so with these women, there's a big sense of isolation. Usually these women have a harder time finding love, but sometimes they could very well be in a marriage or love, and still there's that gap of separation. You may not see it on the outside, but this person on the inside may know just what I'm talking about. So if you start to get clear about your communication with other people, like, hey, we're all in it together. I've been in my 40 hours. It's time for you to pick up some of the slack now. If you are in a situation where you feel like you can't communicate that, like say you're at work, then my recommendation is to, when you go home, share it with a partner. If you have somebody you live with, if they're available to have that sort of conversation, and just say like, I wanted to say this, or what I was feeling and I never communicated is this, and let them sort of be a sounding board. Because what happens is if these feelings and emotions aren't expressed, they're going to bottle up inside. And if you don't have anybody to talk to or anyone you feel easy to speak to, maybe they're not open to it, or maybe they're not available, or maybe you just feel like you're not ready to say it outwardly, then try journaling it. Journaling is a great solution. So I actually suggest this as a homework assignment every night before you go to bed. Ask, was I in my truth today? Did I shovel myself under the rug in any sort of way? Did I not fully stand in and speak my truth today? And it might take some practice to get used to it. So one of those practices, you have to really slow down and ask your heart, was I in my truth today? And it may be that you're not in your truth at all, but you just never knew it because you never like broke it down so much. Oh, is what my truth means. Because sometimes when it's easier to just zip it up and do it rather than saying it, which is the truth. That could be the truth for you at the same time. But the question I have for you is, are you bottling things up? Or is there contracting and constricting energy? Anytime there's contracting and constricting energy, you're going to need more space inside of you to hold that. Now, the other thing that causes the weight along with the excess holding is I spoke to responsibility. So what does this mean? This means that when you were younger, your caregivers, most likely your mother, was unavailable to be the proper parent that she should have been. There could be a number of reasons why this is. She could have been narcissistic, she could have been codependent, or she could have just been immature in a childhood way, and she needed you to be the parent and you the child, and her the child. Other possibilities are perhaps she had an injury and she couldn't take care of you or hold you the way a mother would. Or maybe there was somebody else in the household. But for whatever reason, you needed to bear the weight of more responsibility than you should have had to as a kid. Perhaps there were so many siblings that you had and so many mouths to feed, and you needed to earn your weight. So that's another big one, is you needed to carry your weight in order to be worthy of having the food to eat on the dinner table. So if there was an issue of finances and there was only so much food to feed everybody, you maybe had to push your way in to get your piece of the meat that you wanted, or you had to earn your worth. And so this maybe continued to be a pattern. I especially see it in tightness around women's like chest and shoulder area. It's a thickness in the skin where I see where a woman needed to push herself inward to be seen, heard, or noticed. So the underlying belief around that is one or the other. It's either I'm too much or I'm not enough. Usually in the excess weight one, I see more so I'm too much. So if you're too much, then you need to like hide. And so more of you needs to come inside. And then it's almost like putting on more layers of clothing. You need more space inside of you to hold all of you, if that makes sense. If not, feel free to ask any questions and I'll answer all your questions down below. But I just love this topic and I want to help you to lose weight as well. So I hope this is making sense. So now I'm going to talk about solutions. I already spoke to one of my favorite ideas is one about the truth and the fifth chakra. And it's like basically you need to clean out, like just imagine the metaphor, but just cleaning yourself out. Anything, it's like cleaning out your closet. Any energy that you're holding onto that's time to just kind of like rid. Perhaps it's your mother's energy. The way to release other people's energies is through a few ways, but one of them is through a cutting cord exercise. I'm happy to share my cutting cord meditation that I've created with you. If you send me a personal message below, I will personally email it to you. And the other is updating contracts with people. And the contract needs to go something like this. What I do with contracts is I shut my eyes, I see that person out in front of me who I'm holding onto their energy. For whatever reason, as a younger person, you needed to take care of this person. And maybe you still are taking care of this person. But for whatever reason, the energy of taking care is still in your energy space. So ask yourself, is this person still in my energy space? If you have that feeling of responsibility or need, or like there's something more I need to do for you, take care of you, caretaking, that feeling, then yes, they're in your energy space. You need to clear the cord, which I did show you in my meditation how to do that. And then you need to look at them and say the updated contract is, and you could write that everybody's a little bit slightly different, but the end result is their energy belongs to them and you are no longer responsibility for taking care of them. This might take a bit of listening to really let it sink in. You are not responsible for their needs or the fact that they don't have friends or the fact that they don't have a life. You are not responsible for them. So you need to give them their energy back. Non-threatening or non-pushing away, kind of anything you resist persists. That is a crucial law of this universe. So do it not in that way, but do it in a very loving way. Actually, loving's too much on that spectrum. I just do things matter of fact. Like, I'm not responsible for this, although I'm available for helping people. But specifically, I'm talking about when the responsibility was put onto you and it was more than you were willing or able to handle, and it's actually never been taken off. That's when you draw that line in the sand and say, this belongs to you. This belongs to me. This is my container, which I need to let energy move through me and move outward. So when your energy is here, like needing and wanting me, and this could be your partner too, but when your energy is like right here, then it's basically blocking the transmission of energy to move through. That's just like blocking new people from meeting you. Maybe it's sales opportunities, maybe it's a new friend, maybe it's a lover if you're single, or whatever it may be. We need to just clear our energy space. And it's like magical. Within moments, you will become lighter. So sometimes people have the sensation of feeling heavier and lighter. And if you're holding in more of other people's energies, you will feel heavier. So after I do healing sessions with people who have this cohort of emotions to holding out other people's responsibility and emotions, they all walk out so light. They have this really light, delicate step. And it's almost like they're in a different body. But the truth is my purpose and what I do with my clients is I just take them back to their truth of who they actually are in the first place. And the truth is you're not this heavy bum 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 person. It's just learned behaviors, and that's like energy that you're holding on to. The truth is you're a light essence being. You're a light being. You're light and you are light is what I'm saying. But the last technique I want to teach you to actually diffuse this energy of where you're holding on to is laughter. Giggle. Just tell yourself, like, make yourself laugh. Just start to chuckle until it becomes a real truthful laugh, or turn on a funny video, or whatever it takes to just diffuse the intensity of whatever it is that you're feeling. And you could actually imagine it like birds flying free coming off of your chest, or whatever visual you want to use. Just ask yourself right now, where in my body, specifically my chest, belly area, am I holding on? And if you want, you put your hand there to give it a little love. And then ask yourself, am I willing to break free of this? And if you are, then go ahead and imagine the energy that's clogging it, congesting it, to just flow freely into the universe, away and off of you. It's like the shame you've been holding on to, that I'm not good enough. Just let that go. Let it go. It's not the truth. Anyways, if we really broke it down, just let it go, let it go, let it go. And then come back into yourself. And yourself, you could see it like the skeleton, the pole going through you. That is the core of your being, where it stems from on the inside. So I'm going to leave you with just a couple of remarks. When you are in alignment with yourself and in your truth, you can't help but eat a healthy diet. And you can't help but wanting to have a physical routine, which includes things like cardiovascular exercise, maybe a little bit on the Pilates or strength training, as well as like a yoga, a movement practice, depending on who you are, what your body constitution is, and what your desires and interests are. That's what will depict what your exercise program should look like. But it's not that will depict how much weight you lose. It's you coming into alignment and letting go of your things that you're holding on to, responsibility and your emotional weight, that more than anything are going to make a difference in your weight.